Well, we back finally. We like halfway through the season. We already hit All-Star break, but we are back. Uh, had some technical difficulties. We had to switch producers, but we here. I think we kind of sort of came up with a name. Give us your thoughts, but the pod is going to be called the Fast Break because it's supposed to be a little brief, a little mix up from the slow pace of the league and stuff like that. So with that, we actually want to kick it to our intro. Shout outs to one of our own, Yodi, Coyote. Our guy did his thing, so let's get it.
This is the Fast Break, the ultimate podcast where we dive deep into the world of the MMA Basketball Association with your hosts,
BG, George, Darius, and Hunter. Guiding you through the highs, the lows, and the incredible stories that make basketball more than just a game. Be competitive, be the dogs you know you are, but most importantly, be. This is the Fast Break.
All right, appreciate that. So this looking like that's gonna be our intro going forward. The Fast Break Pod. So with us we have G Money, Hunter, Yo, Miami boy, and last but definitely not least, my boy Ace, PG.
Yes,
So
sir.
welcome to the pod. My fault, G. So, fellas, all right, we wanted to kick it off. We got a whole lot to discuss. We don't have a long time to discuss it, so we're gonna jump right into it. We halfway through the season. And here we go. We halfway through the season. We then had a trade. We had some all-stars selected. We've had a couple players dropped, players picked up. So we've had some moves. So I want to get everybody's thoughts on the state of the league. I ain't gonna talk too much. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the league and where it's at right now. Who's dominant, who's not, who's getting it together, who's falling apart, all that.
And if there's any inside scoop, don't be afraid to let it be known. We messy.
Yeah, we like
all the drama.
We like messy.
To be honest, I think the league is balanced, man.
Yeah.
I don't really see. Well, I mean, at first, the way it started off with strictly business going 6-0, I was like, man, sheesh, I don't know. But I feel like some teams have gotten it together, started working their way towards the top. So and then strictly business lost their last two, so makes it it's a little bit closer than it was before. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, there's a certain team getting hot at the right time, I think. I ain't gonna shout us out too much. Oh, yes, I am. What am I saying? Lob City. we gelling. I like the direction the team is going. And I'm gonna later on in the episode, I'm gonna actually share some insight as to why the trade went down and my thought process, in making a trade. But that being said, I actually do want to talk to Yo and Hunter because we got two members of Strictly Business here. So it's definitely far from, like danger zone. It's completely far from that. Y'all 6-2. That's not, that's not like anything to worry about. I mean, 2 losses in a row from a team that started out 6-0. Some people might be like, oh, they in trouble. Y'all not in trouble. That's not even a thought process. But is there anything y'all gonna try to change or improve on going forward so y'all don't go from 6-0 to like 6-4?
I mean, the simple reason why we lost those 2 games was because our offense got a little stagnant. That's been kind of a little, small issue throughout even the 6-0 run. Our offense was a little rough at times. So, we've been in the lab trying to get some practice in, fix some offensive stuff that we've got going on. So I think we're gonna be fine for sure.
Respect. Your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of just making sure that we understand what our direction is from game to game, offense and on defense. Those 2 losses, I mean, I'm not one for excuses, but second one, we didn't have a line. The first one, we was missing. Were we missing someone, Hunter, on the first loss?
Nah, we just got spanked. So
It was
it's
just got
okay.
saying, okay, that was the I think that was the most credible loss because we had everybody, we just didn't play well. The second one could go either way. We just couldn't really get anything going, but also we wasn't healthy. But I mean, I'm still optimistic about the season. It's just a matter of taking those losses and understand that there can be more if we don't do what we need to do.
Yeah, appreciate that thought. And you know, it's funny. I was thinking about it. Like last season, my team, when we were called the Dream Chasers, we started out pretty hot, and I was thinking this probably, I want to say right after like All-Star break. As a matter of fact, last season, I was thinking, and I started thinking like, listen, I kind of said this to my team. Nobody that's on my team that was on my team last season is on this episode to be able to share that, but I did say to my team, like, hey, the league is going to catch up with us. We started out hot. The league is going to catch up. So we're going to have to make some adjustments. And I think not that the league necessarily caught up with strictly business, but that can happen. Like for teams that start off really hot, they got their chemistry early. The rest of the league is still kind of feeling themselves out as as a team or as teams. So it's interesting. I think some teams are starting to figure it out. And now this is where we're going to see what strictly business is made of. Where how do they adjust to that? How do they adjust to teams making adjustments? So
And that's why I said I'm glad that we did what we did to start out 6-0 because we can afford. I mean, we can't really afford it, but we can. We can afford to lose one or two to bring us back down to earth and then start picking up the pieces. So it's not like we fighting for the number. We still at the top because we did the work early, but we gotta finish strong.
Yep. Hey, that's part of the when you top dog. Everybody's nipping at your heels. So y'all gonna we want to see what y'all got. Um, Miami. I actually wanted to ask you because y'all started out kind of hot too. I don't remember the record after let's say 4 games. I can't remember you guys' record, but I
Yeah,
already know
3-1.
that's what I thought. Okay, so
Yeah.
y'all started off 3-1. And y'all were in second and had the hottest offense in the league, I think by far. Um, for you, first off, like you going crazy, bro. You going crazy. Not
Appreciate
just
it.
a top scorer, but doing so efficiently. And so the question for you, I guess, is and I'm not this ain't to throw shots at any of your former teammates, but like the style y'all played before was really a slow walking up the court. And it was due to, roster and builds and so forth. But like what led to this? I mean, this is like a whole 180 from your offense last season. And in fact, you look like a completely different player. So like what happened? What changed? Other than, players departing.
Yeah, I mean, players departed and then, uh Jarvis, he my boy, but his play was slow as creek water, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, but I mean, it's just the way we made up best of what we had. We had to slow it down, and this year we have faster players and I guess more speed. Yeah, more speed. The player and can kind of stretch the floor more. So we what I know JP he ended up he said he wanted to change some things around how we run the offense. So we got behind him and with Renzo, he's a different point guard. Um from 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 my
Austin.
PG, yeah, from Austin from last year.
Hey, you forgot Osman that quick?
Not nah, my nephew is trying to tell me something. My fault. Uh
Out of
um
sight, out of mind,
yeah,
huh?
nah. Nah, but I mean, he was good for us last. I mean, I say we wouldn't have even made it without him. Him and Tyler, and see now they're both gone. You know, um, but we have a different offense, and we're running things different, and we're more free flowing offense this season, and not too many sets where it's just pick and roll or slow it all the way down. And I think that kind of hurt us last year by if we didn't score, then and the other team scored that, we was playing from catch up always. And now this
Mm.
season, we're flying down court,
get more fast breaks, that we have a better chance at winning. Or if we stop scoring, we have a little cushion.
We
You
get
know,
fast breaks for sure. They get fast
yeah.
breaks like crazy.
Is there anybody specific you want to name, Hunter, on that team that's going out
Nah,
with the
I'm
fast
just
break?
saying, man. I'm just saying.
Now I gotta say this too, because there was some critics, myself included, because I called y'all out for it, that said if y'all can't fast break, y'all can't score. So how do you feel like y'all handle a half court offense? Because we know the fast break, especially between you and JP, is deadly. You don't get back, that's a bucket, that's three points the other way.
Mm.
So how do you feel about your half court offense?
I say it's still a work in progress. We're still working out some kinks, because I know sometimes we can get stagnant, and we'll start not doing anything or not communicating. So we're trying to get better at that overall. So I say it's we're going to get better. It's just with time and repetition. So and at times it's certain matchups that you have to look at that can stop us. Like if I say Chris, I mean he does cause some problems for us, sometimes.
Mm,
So I mean as one of the bigs in the league, so we have to kind of play around, how the other team's defense and how they, what player steals, because that play a factor. Because hey, man, a thief,
yeah.
a thief. So you have to watch out, like make sure you're wide open if Yoke is in the air, or he's gonna steal it. So we have to, and sometimes we can play fast too, So
Yeah. Okay. Appreciate that. So before we kind of pivot different direction, I mean, well, this is the All-Star episode, so kind of want to talk about any thoughts on any of you guys, any thoughts on well, wait. I'm sorry. How on earth I forgot to talk to my PG. So Ace, you went from the dogs at the time of the trade, you guys. So you didn't play an extra game. We were talking about that before this episode started. But
Yeah.
Ace will have played one less game this season when it's all said and done. So the time of the trade, I think were you 0-3 or
We
or
was 0-2. 0-2.
0-2?
Yeah.
Okay. So and now is the time. We talk about, George mentioned it. We get messy. Give us some of the details. What was going on? Because
We
from
heard
what
some
we saw,
insider stuff, dog.
yeah, from what was going, from outside looking in, y'all just won a chip. Now, granted, y'all were like 4-7 going into the playoffs, but y'all put together a great run, swept Dream Chasers in the first round, won I think what 3-1 in the chip.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
y'all fresh off a chip, and then the off season hits, and y'all can't communicate what's going on. They're
Into
talking
the
about you
new
can't.
season,
Your
the
AI,
captain is calling you the best point guard to ever do it. And then two
yeah,
games in, he's saying you packing. So we want to know. I'm packing for it.
yeah. Yeah,
So,
what's going on?
I mean, long story short, some things could have been done differently. I felt like offensively, as a point guard, I didn't have the hands on a wheel enough to run the offense the way I felt like we needed to run it. And when within those first two games, and you could blame it, like I said, on practice, but BG, me and you had this conversation before during our practices. I felt like during practice we weren't actually practicing. Like, so the past season when we did practice, back when it was Elijah there instead of Denarius, when we were playing pro am or rec, it was just we were playing pro am and rec. We weren't practicing, we weren't running sets and nothing like that. So after the first two games, I kind of could see where it was going. The second game, when we played against Lob City, said had kind of quit on us early in the game, and that kind of turned me off, especially from a captain's standpoint. Muting your mic, not saying nothing, not being, just it was just flat out quitting. And then the previous season, I know they made a big deal about Chris and Sad made a big deal about me doing that the previous season. So
It was a little
that rubbed me the wrong way. So actually, I asked to be released. I was like, yo, just let me go. Y'all rock. Me and Said, we didn't get into it, but it's all love. But from the league standpoint, I'm like, listen, just let me
I'm
go.
gonna call Cap. Hold on, I gotta call Cap because y'all did get into it. I heard from some.
Yeah,
y'all got into it.
I'm saying it wasn't personal. Like it was like strictly just dealing with the league. But
I mean, I heard you said can't do anything on the court or something to that effect.
I did say that. I did, 100%. Now I'm glad to see. Like I said may feel completely different because I know he wants us to lose every game. Now he said I hope y'all lose every game. But at the time, I was just trying to help. Obviously, I just want to BG. I like seeing everybody eat more so than eat myself. I know at any point in time, if I need to score, I could do that. But when your team, when everybody's a threat, it's harder for opposing teams to stop y'all. And I just felt like, outside of me, Chris, and Phil, and this is no shot to Daenerys because he had just got there, but outside of me, Chris and Phil, we ain't have an option. Elijah, finals, or throughout that playoff run, he was okay, but during the season, really wasn't there. And Said was averaging like 6 points a game during the playoffs. So I mean, it was like we needed another option. So I seen the way that was going. Me and Said had got into it. So I'm like, man, just release me. So ended up being a trade where I got traded to Lob City, and then we are where we are. But that's what happened.
Appreciate the look.
Looking at that trade, just my opinion, but I think BG team, definitely came up on the better side of the trade. There's no offense to Tay neither, as far as like player comparison, but since the trade, you guys are in second now.
Yep.
Again, you got to upgrade. This is no disrespect to Bishop, but Phil is a much better shooter from the perimeter, and he gets just as much rebound as Bishop does. So I think you guys definitely won the trade. I think Sad may have acted a little hastily because of what happened. He didn't really take too much time to process the trade, and he let go of Phil. Phil was a great player during that playoff run, that lower championship run that they had. So
that was crazy.
I didn't think that was the best move, but it already happened. It is what it is now, and they don't have a hot start. So we got to see what the season leads. But that might be something we look back on, like, that was a big mistake.
I'm gonna give some little insight here actually now, and then we'll get into the All-Star festivities a little bit. But from my end, the reason the trade took place. So of course we were seeing the little blow up with Said and Ace. It became somewhat public. There was hints of, oh, he don't like to practice, and they wouldn't say it straight up, but
that was
Chris
cap. That was cap.
I mean, so from my perspective, right? So they're saying these comments of, oh, if only we would have practiced, and divas don't like to practice, and so forth. So in the captain's chat, probably I want to say at least a week, maybe 5 days before the trade actually took place, Zed comes into the captain's chat and says Ace is on the trading block. So of course, all the captains like, whoa, there's eyeball emojis and everything else. And at the time, I think my team had played 2 games, so we were 1-1. And I'm like, I ain't making a trade. I feel like I don't know that did I make a trade after? Was it only 2 games?
No, y'all was 1-2. Y'all was 1-2.
That's what I thought. Okay, so that's what it was. So we were 1-2. So at the time when Said, mentioned the you were on the trading block, we were 1-1. And I'm like, we're not in the danger zone. I'm not too worried. We're feeling each other out. But I will say when the team consisted of Tay, Robbie, Bishop, and Will, I still was trying to figure out what position to play, because my thing as a captain is I want to put my team and my players in the best spot to succeed. I'm not so worried about myself, my stats, or anything like that. So, which is why if you guys noticed, like I played power forward this season. I played 1 game at shooting guard, and then I played some center. So I was just trying to, let my team gel. I didn't care about myself. So that being said, we didn't have, in my opinion, we didn't have any like defensive stoppers, not on the perimeter. I knew that me and Emil, because Emil started out playing center, so I knew me and Emil could hold it down in the paint. But if we don't have defensive stoppers on the perimeter, then I don't feel like we can play man. And so, we tried man the first game, we got smoked by Miami's team, by Arkham. I mean smoked. Like they beat us by 30, 35, something like that. And then we beat the dogs, but then we played that third game, and whoever it was also smoked us by like 20. So I was like, all right, this is what's got to give. If we don't have guys that can play defense, now I'm a little concerned. And not to say that Tay or Robbie can't play defense, but it was apparent we couldn't play man. So anyway, so from there, I kind of was like, you know what? Let me explore it. So I reached out to said, I initially offered Robbie straight up for Ace. Because my goal was to try to get Ace. Oh my goodness. Babe. Gabby. Sorry, y'all.
Puppy sabotaging the pod, man.
So and let me step into me. So initially, I tried to get Ace Ace for Robbie because I wanted Ace and Tay together, but said wouldn't budge on it. So end of the day, he actually wanted to get Will and Tay for Ace and Phil. And Will came out shooting like crazy. Like, he had 21 points one game, I think 18 another game or something like that. So I was like, yeah, that's not happening. So we ended up going back and forth, and Bishop was the final offer. And he said, he was looking at Bishop's stats. He's like, oh yeah, I'll take him, looking at, the attributes. So from there, that was the agreement. And we went from Tay and Tay and Bishop to the Dogs, and we brought in Ace and Phil. And initially, I didn't even really want Phil because I thought, like, George has been on a team with us together, and I thought there was no way that me and Phil could play together because I'm like, it's just the big brother, little brother kind of thing of like, we're going to be butting heads and in games and arguing. So from there, it ended up happening, and it's been smooth sailing so far. Ace running the offense, and, we doing what we do. So it was hard for me to trade Tay and Bishop, though, because for those that don't know, like, they were on my team in MMA before, and like the first iteration of MMA. So I was trying, I felt some loyalty to them, but I looked at it from just a GM perspective, and I had to make a move that I felt, will upgrade the team. So that's what, some behind the scenes as to why the trade went down from my end. So that being said, I'm gonna stop being so long-winded. Let's get into these all-star festivities. So before we do this draft, so we have lined up, we have a three-point contest. It looks like a lot of people are interested in a three-point contest this time around. With some of the heavy hitters as shooters, like, Sed's shooting 57%. I'm gonna take a shot at him. I'm gonna say I don't know if I consider him a heavy hitter because he only made like 16 threes out of 8 games. So that my shot at him is, I don't know if I consider him a heavy hitter, but he is shooting 57%. And Will shooting a good percentage. We know Miami shooting at a heavy clip. Let me ask y'all, like, out of some of the names that we have in there, and matter of fact, I'm gonna run through it just real quick so everybody knows who is lined up to participate. And then I want y'all to, give me 2 guys that you think is gonna be competing against each other at the end. Let me see. We got
They out, nothing too crazy. Y'all know I just got this set from because of Alice, and
we good? All right, so we have lined up. We got don't mind our sponsors. They had to get their little quick message in there. So we got Twiz, we got Will, Yo, Miami Division, who actually has turned into a shooter. Like, you can't leave him open. Denarius, George, Ace. And then I think JP, but somebody, so I think I named 9. Somebody will not be participating. I'm not sure who. But out of those 9, if y'all had to pick 2, who do you got going to the finals to compete against each other? And Yo and Miami and George, y'all can name yourself if you want, because shoot or shoot. So who y'all got?
I'm picking Yodi and Miami. Those are my 2.
Okay.
I'm just having fun. I'm just if I so happen to be somewhere in the mix, that's fine. But I'm just trying to, participate, have some fun.
I got to go with my boys. I expect it to be a Lob City Finals. Ace and Will.
I guess I say, I mean, excluding myself, I say M. Will and I say Daenerys.
It's
Okay,
hard
okay.
to say to not pick me. Now, um, I'm a pick M. Will, and I'm gonna pick Miami
Okay. Those
to
are
make it.
solid. Those are solid. Hopefully we have this episode. Well, it's gonna have to drop before tomorrow anyway, so everybody will know the selections. So that being said, the rest of y'all shooters who didn't get mentioned, no disrespect to y'all, but those are who we think. Now y'all, it's up to y'all to prove us wrong. Um, and then we have the dunk contest. I'm not sure yet if that's gonna happen due to lack of participants, but we'll see. You know, Ace was the defending champ.
I'll run it
He
back
didn't.
because I got to defend my title, so I'll run it back. I don't think I put
Okay.
that in there, but I'll run it back.
Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. So Ace out here, he dethroned Robbie, who thought he was the reigning dunk master.
Yeah, I'm mad
So
he's not gonna be here.
yeah, unfortunately, he's vacationing in Cancun and whatnot early because he knows we ain't going there this year. So
Nah,
you know. So now let's get into it real quick. Last thing before we get this draft popping off. So the list of all stars, and I'm not talking about fill-ins that got moved up due to people unavailable, but I want to know y'all thoughts on some of the snubs. So we have let me pull up the all-star list. Original list of all stars based on votes was, let me see. All right, we originally had Ace, Lion, and Yote as the top three vote getters. Then we had Miami, M. Will, JP, Aus, and George. And there was a tie between Chris and Kyle. So anybody I did not name did not get selected originally. So who did y'all feel were like snubs, or even if they weren't a snub, like who did y'all feel like should deserve an honorable mention based on their play this season? And we only talking, is this season, not past accolades.
mm.
I'm gonna say the Daenerys, man. I feel like the Daenerys got snubbed because, and man, I don't think they got them 2 wins if it wasn't for him. I know Chris played a huge role in that too, but Daenerys just give him that extra push to actually be, more than what people have perceived him to be after being 0-6. So I don't know. He put in a lot of work, so I feel like he got snubbed.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna also say Robbie, which was shocking because um he's not too far off. He might be like 6 or 7 as far as scoring, and he doing it pretty efficiently. But I was shocked that Robbie didn't get the nod because offensively, defensively, when you play in Lob City, you are definitely looking out for Robbie to find out where he is on the floor. But yeah, him and Daenerys, I feel like they should have been voted in.
I'm gonna save my thoughts for last. Miami, Hunter, George, y'all got anybody? And it can be the same, if y'all felt
Yeah,
agreed.
I'll say Daenerys, because I mean he's nice. He's real nice. So I was surprised with that, you know. But then again, everybody can't make it. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't
it's
think there
gonna
was
be
any
yeah.
real. Oh, my fault, Miami.
No, go good.
I don't think there's any real snubs in my opinion. I think everyone who made it deserved to get in.
Yeah.
I would shout out Renzo and Robbie also. Daenerys has
Mm.
been playing good too. I think Daenerys is more recency bias a little bit. Because he is a big reason why they won the past 2 games. So it's no shout out to Daenerys at all. But yeah, I think the all stars that we got, I think all very well deserved it. So I don't think anyone behind them really should have overthrown anybody else.
Yeah, so I kind of agree with you guys. For me personally, I actually agree with what you said, Hunter. I don't really think that I like if we had to do it, I wouldn't take anybody out of the All-Star game that got in.
Yeah.
I would say personally, I lean towards like, NBA, when they're voting and stuff, I lean towards rewarding the teams that are winning. So I may have like Daenerys because of his play, yes. But because of his team's record, I would lean towards somebody else. And that's where I look at like Phil. And I know everybody will say, oh, that's your teammate and it's your brother. But my reasoning is this. And I agree actually with Daenerys and Phil. I don't know, for whatever reason it is, when we play in a league, the power forwards never get like attention or praise for whatever reason.
It's because they do the dirty work. You get the dirty
Yeah,
work that's not in this. It's not in the stats really. So you kind of have
yep.
to. You got to watch the games to know what they're doing really.
Mhm.
Because
And
Lou's the
that's
same
kind of,
way. Lou's the same way.
yep.
Lou's a baller, but he does all the dirty work. So you'll never, if you just look at a box scores, you're never gonna think that
Yep, and that's kind of my point. Like when I make my votes based on what I see during the game a little bit more so than the stats, because I agree with you. I feel like sometimes the stats, not I won't say the stats lie, but they definitely do not tell the whole story. Like even just little stuff as you mentioned, like Lou, because Lou's good at it, Phil's good at it. M Will when he was playing power forward, very good at it. They'll box out and allow a center to get a lot of rebounds.
you need
And
that. If you don't have that player, you don't
Mhm.
win championships. It's just that
yep,
simple.
so those are my guys to I think mention snub would be Phil. And I actually, even though I said earlier I did say do the record, I might not say it, but Daenerys, because those are the two top power forwards in my opinion, and I think it's not really close right now. So those were my snubs. So now let's get into it. Let's get into it. So we came here to get this draft done. I'm gonna refresh you guys with the list that you guys can pick from. And again, the way it's done, the number one vote getter was Yote. So he's gonna have the number one pick. Or I'm sorry. Number one vote getter was Ace. He's gonna have the number one pick. Next was Yote, and then Miami. And then for the second round, you're gonna reverse the order. It's a snake draft. So Miami will have the first pick. Ace will have the last pick. And there's only again 2 rounds. You're picking. You're gonna have a 3-on-3. So the players that you guys will be picking from are as follows. And sorry for my dogs in the background. Um, let me step away. All right, we have all right, updated list. So we have Kyle, JP, Chris, Denarius, Will, and George. So those are the guys you guys can pick from. Kyle, JP, Chris, Denarius, Will, and George. So with that said, Ace, let's get it started. You on the clock, my brother. Who you going with your first pick?
Tough. So because I play guard, I'm going to take a big. Now, I think I love Kyle's game, but as a center, but I'm gonna take my ex teammate Chris.
Wow. Okay. Okay. The reunion tour. Okay, I respect it. All right. You are on the clock. The remaining players to pick from: Kyle, JP, Denarius, Will, and George.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go George.
Wow. Okay. Two deadly perimeter players together. What's gonna happen here? Sniper and two defensive players too. That's gonna be crazy. Miami, you are on the clock. Your picks are, or available picks are, Kyle, JP, Denarius, and Will.
Go Daenerys.
Solid, solid. So we going perimeter, some shooting, some defense, but definitely some deadly offense. And with that, you get to make your second pick. So it's the back to back. You start in the second round. Available players are Kyle, JP, and Will.
Go Kyle.
The teammate pick. I was waiting for somebody to pick a teammate. I was waiting for it. Good pick though, because now you got yourself on the perimeter with Daenerys, a little combo, and you got the big man. So you're on the clock. Will and JP.
Will.
Solid. Stole my teammate. Solid, because
He definitely did.
you know what he brings to the table, and he got multiple builds, so y'all can have him play whichever you decide, and then of course that means Ace. He's gonna get JP.
Yes, sir.
So I have JP with some lethal shooting, Ace running the point, and Chris in the paint. So the setup is 3v3 v3. You'll have two teams playing, one team sitting out. Each team is going to play each other, like the other teams, one time. Whoever has the best record after those 3 games are completed will then be directly pushed into the championship. The next team of the other two teams will then play double elimination to decide who's going to get to the championship. So they're going to play back to back after that. And then the championship is also double elimination. There's no once the championship starts, there's no like, oh, we haven't lost a game yet. It's just double elimination for each round. So you'll have to win 2 games in each round to win the whole thing. You guys were all stars. You can decide amongst yourselves which 2 teams want to play first. There's no really, I guess, advantage to who plays first or not.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, was it a bracket?
Yeah, no. So it's just everybody. It's a round robin style. Everybody's gonna play everybody one time, and then you'll play double elimination after that. So my question for you guys, I guess, well, me and Hunter, because we're not participating. Hunter, which team you got as the favorite? So rundown of the teams again. We have Ace, JP, and Chris. We have Yote, George, and Imwell, and we have Kyle, Miami, and Daenerys.
I'd pick Ace's team. I think they got who was it? Because it was Ace, George,
JP.
JP, and Chris, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think they can kind of score. I think they can be the most efficient on offense a little bit. They kind of score in different ways. So
Yeah,
I'll go with them.
in a excuse me, in a 3v3 setting, I think Chris is pretty unstoppable. Ace is pretty unstoppable, and JP with space and be able to, it's really easy to run a fast break in a 3v3. I think they are the favorite as well. I will, and no knock to your team, Miami. I think Yote's team has potential as well because they have both. They have offense and defense. Ace does play defense. I'm gonna call out JP. He ain't known for his defense, so he's gonna be challenged to play defense. And in 3v3, it is wide open. So we're gonna see. But I know George's mentality. George's like, hey, we're gonna come right at your chin. You're gonna have to play some defense. And I think Yote's kind of similar. So I think I'm gonna call it and say I got Yote's team versus Ace's team in the chip, and I got the slight edge to Ace's team. So fellas, how you feeling just in general on the state of the league so far? And how are you guys feeling about those that are all-stars? How you feeling about being all-stars? Just anything you want to, mention, just how you feeling about, enjoying the league and how your teams are doing specifically. And what do you guys see going forward? Like, who do you guys project? And you can call out, name your own teams. And if you're going to name your own teams, then tell us who y'all think you're going to play against in the championship. What y'all seeing?
I know I said it already in the chat. I talked to Yo on the side too. I very well expect Lob City to play against Strictly Business in the chip.
Same. I agree.
I think
I see Strictly Business in Lob City.
I think the way Lob City moving right now, we got our plays, you know what I'm saying? It's just so much we can do offensively. Everybody's a threat offensively. I want to say keep leaving BG open. You know what I'm saying?
Let me shoot.
You know what I'm saying? I love the league. I'm having tons of fun. Just competition. You know what I'm saying? I when I first got invited to the league, I didn't think it would be as competitive as it is, but that's just one thing I love, when I play 2K. I just want to have competitive games. And the league is, it stay competitive. Nobody is set in their standing. You have to keep fighting for it. So I'm having tons of fun. But yeah, Lob City versus Strictly Business.
Okay. Bold prediction. And I can't say I disagree. I I think George and not Hunter, George and Miami might disagree a little bit there, but what's your thoughts, George and Miami?
Say that again.
I was saying, what's your thoughts going forward with the league? Who do you well, first off, I said, what do you enjoy about the state of the league right now? And also who are you seeing in the championship? And you can name your own team, but if so, who's your opponent for the chip?
My
Um,
team
I'm
is
liking what I'm seeing. I think I think the league is kind of getting back balanced. Because you had some teams start off real hot and then it kind of slowed up, or then you got the bottom teams that are getting some wins. So I think it's gonna get even, or pretty much even, and it's gonna be a lot closer games than it was. It's not gonna be a lot of blowouts anymore, or like
Mm.
20 point. That's what I see. And I'm loving the league. Like, I mean, cause I never, like, when I first got, I was in that other league. Uh, I didn't know uh, it was brothers that played 2K like this. So I was
Mm.
happy to to um join the 2K league, because I always only thought it was like the traveling basketball, because I've been a part of some uh a couple years ago. But
Mm.
like, I was happy to join, have fellowship with brothers, and and stuff like that, and competing, and I didn't know it was this organized. I thought we were just playing random games to each other, not where it's scheduled games and championships. I didn't know it was like that. Um, but yeah, I'm happy, playing in this league, and I look forward to playing a long time in it, and getting to know a lot of you brothers even more,
And
that
we
I have that.
appreciate you being here, bro. We really
Yeah.
do.
um, but I mean, I see us in the championship.
And who y'all playing? Who y'all playing? Let's hear
Man,
it.
I see SOB. Uh,
So
I mean,
strictly business.
hello. Yeah.
Oh, you mean Live City?
Yeah, Lob City. Yeah, strictly
Okay.
business. I mean,
Wait a minute.
um,
All right. So
What's
you.
going on, man? They didn't gain like three different teams.
hey, I got off of work, man. I'm tired, man.
All right. So strictly business is Yoke's team, and then
Yeah,
Live
yeah,
City
strictly
is
business.
Ace.
Yeah,
Okay.
strictly business.
Strict- Okay.
Yeah, I see us playing them. Um,
Okay.
and I say that first game we wasn't ready for them, but kind of the second game that just passed, I think we kind of had a game plan going in, and we stuck to it,
Mm.
and we got the dub.
They
And
were
plus,
missing. They were missing Lion. I ain't know.
I mean, yeah, that, but I mean, we was also missing a player too, so you know,
Okay.
yeah. But I mean, but I mean, I just really look for the more competitiveness, in the league, and I'm just glad to be here.
Gotcha, man. We appreciate that, and thank you for the take. And let's round it out with George. So your thoughts on the league so far, and who you got in the chip?
the league is boot. Nah, but the league is going exactly how we intended. To be
Yeah,
honest,
yeah.
it's people having fun. We get the competitiveness, but it's not to the point where it's like, personal insults and stuff being flown around. So we still having fun, we still doing our things, but we still keeping it brotherly. As far
Hmm.
as the players, of course, I'm always picking myself and my team. And as far as who we play, that's up to the other team to get there. It don't matter who it is. We're gonna try to be prepared.
Okay. I'm gonna actually say this, and I want to say first of all, as like part of the front office, I greatly appreciate everybody for participating in the league because we don't have a league without the players. Number one. Um, Number two, I gotta co-sign with George. When we put this league together, we wanted to have a place to play, minus some of the negative stuff that we saw. And so far, even if and I'm gonna say this for everybody here too. If y'all ever feel I'm going too far, let me know because George as one of my very very close friends, basically another brother. He knows like if I'm ever feeling like I'm out of line or whatever, I'll ask him, "Am I wrong?" And if he says yeah, then I'm like, "All right, let me chill." So anybody at any time tell me to chill, DM me, tell me in the chat. I don't care if I'm out of line. I apologize, and I will definitely chill with stuff. But again, I do appreciate the league so far, and it's been very enjoyable so far. We had 2 seasons that have been very balanced, and I've really enjoyed, being part of a league where we don't have like guys that are being treated like they're bottom feeders, and then there maybe, all the so-called bottom feeders are pushed to the side, and then they're forced to play on one team, and then they're going 0-10, and you got another team going 10-0. That's not fun. So it's been, I've had a blast so far. I really do appreciate it. As far as my choice for who's going to the chip, of course, like everybody else said, I'm picking my own team. And I actually got the dark horse being the Crusaders. It's hard for me to pick against Aus. We all know his resume, but it ain't just Aus. They got a team with George, B. Ross. I may make my little snips at him, but B. Ross is a solid 2K player. And my biggest thing is not just those three, but you cannot leave Darius open. And division has been a shock, straight up shock to me. I hate giving him props because, and I'm gonna say this, division, your head getting big, bro. Your head getting big. So I ain't giving you too many more props, but you have been balling.
Yeah.
At small forward, that is. Don't go back to that center. But that being said, so that's my team. I got Lob City versus Crusaders in the chip. But we'll see what happens. So with that, kind of want to wrap up the episode. We don't want to keep you guys too long.
One more thing I want to add though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a intro video for y'all, man, with the beat and all that.
Hey.
And I'll kind of pick y'all brain a little bit on. I got an idea of what I want to do, and I'll send it like a demo of what the intro video would look like, and we can just go critiquing it from there.
Yeah.
Bet. Appreciate it. And I do want to say we have some very talented brothers in this league, musically, things like that. Shout out to M. Will who sings. He made in a different league I was in, a football league with some brothers. He actually made like a little rap for the intro. So he's got some skills. We know Yoke got skills. I don't want to forget James. He sent us a beat too. We're going to try to implement that in future episodes. So don't feel like we didn't choose yours or anything like that. We definitely appreciate y'all. So keep it up. Definitely appreciate it. And thanks to Hunter, for joining the crew with the pod. He's going to be a fixture in future pods going forward. We're going to try to switch things up. We're going to try to be a little bit more regular. I know we were regular last season. We had run into some technical difficulties this season. We're going to start, trying to get some more episodes and stuff coming out more frequently. And I know we've been begging y'all to submit those highlights. So I'm going to go ahead and say next episode, we're going to at least have some kind of segment for the highlights.
Top
so please,
10.
Something, top 10, top whatever.
Top 10 shacking too. We're going.
Okay. Okay. Make sure. So that being said, if we're going to do the Shaqtin', submit highlights of, Shaqtin' a Fool highlights too. But I will say this, you're going to submit them of others. Don't, make sure to submit them of yourself too. That way we can keep it lighthearted. We don't want to clown our brothers too much. I mean, everybody seems to have fairly thick skin, so we can have a nice laugh. But submit some of yourself too. So highlights and lowlights. We're going to break it all down. So for next episode, please get those in. Drop them in the Discord highlight channel. We'll have the share screen up while we're watching them, and we're going to rank them. So get those highlights dropped, please. And at this point, just to make sure we have enough highlights to go through. I don't even care if it's rec highlights, whatever. Get it in there. So we appreciate y'all. G, you can play the beat again on the outro, and you can then stop in the recording in the episode whenever you feel is good at with the